Good morning, guys. It's friends. As you saw yesterday, Nasdaq was up, S&P 500 was up, and as a result, we also had Genomic shares going up. Our entire list of Genomic shares is all positive, so it's absolutely great. But today we are coming to a critical point. It's Friday, and there will be options expiry actions going on, so that can distort the view a little bit. But overall, things have been looking great in the last couple of days. Past performance cannot guarantee future results. However, most of our technical indicators and analysis is based on past events. We don't have future data points. And as a result of which, everything that we say is a probability. And today's headlines basically reflect what the market is doing. It's doing exactly that. It's looking at what happened and reacting to it. So as the sun started rising on Friday along Asia, the Asian indices went up in sync with the US markets. And also they had good news from Alibaba and Baidu, because it was expected they would have a really bad performance due to the lockdowns and everything. And their performance turned to be much better than expected. And that boosted the market. And in sympathy, European markets also jumped up. And we have to see whether US market is again going to follow it, or it's going to lead them in a different direction. So today is a crucial day. And another aspect that's also worth looking at is that Tokyo has started relaxing its travel restrictions, which means more travel and tourism and commerce can take place. That's another data point that points towards easing of supply chain restrictions, easing of restrictions on the hospitality industry. All of this is going to be good. And if the Dow falls again this week, it will be the 9th week in a row. So we hope that we can retain all our gains and avoid the 9th week in a row, which will then be the longest streak of low weeks in S&P 500. And I suspect it will be the same for Nasdaq also. But in the big picture, if you look at the overall big picture, which I'll talk about when we go into looking at the indices, if you look at the peak where we were pre-pandemic and where we are right now, we are definitely above the peak of pre-pandemic. And that, in my opinion, is a pretty good thing, given the fact that due to the pandemic, we had so much of distortions. We had the lockdown, which we have never experienced before, and the lockdown led to supply chain issues, and then we had pumped in money through fiscal policy, sending in money to people so that they can sustain themselves, giving money to businesses to keep people on their rolls. All that free money had come in without any production, which led to the increase in inflation. And as a result of that, the Fed is going to start tightening the interest rate to cool down everything. Given all these distortions that are happening, I think a gain of more than 10% from the past peak before pandemic to right now, even though we are very low, is in my book still a really admirable thing, considering all the risks that we have been through. With that said, I think there is no new news. There's only one new news item I saw in CRISPR, but that's worth a weekend video. So I'm going to be doing that for Friday. But apart from that, there is no major news out here. We're now looking forward to the next inflation data from the US. And if the inflation data shows that inflation has moderated and it's gone down a little bit, that will be a positive for the market. And that will also be a sigh of relief for the Feds. With that said, let's go and have a look at our indices and take it from there. Let's start by looking at the futures. The futures are showing a positive gain of 0.23%. That's around 28.50 basis points for Nasdaq, and that's looking good. That's a bullish sign. However, the 0.24% plus is not that great to defend. So it doesn't mean anything for us right now. Let's go and have a look at the indicators. And as always, we're going to look at oil. Oil is down minus 0.66%. And if you look at this chart out here, you can see that oil is still within yesterday's range, and yesterday we had gone up. That was the 26th of May. We had gone up significantly, but we are still within that range. We started higher and we came down. We still have support from the 9-day exponential moving average, as well as this minor horizontal support at 110.98, as well as subsequent support from the 20-day exponential moving average sitting at 109.24. So, and the MACD is also bullish. Momentum is above average but falling. So overall, I think we are in the same range like yesterday. We are waiting for the market open. We can find that out by looking at the weekly chart. And we can see that we still have a doji candle, a thick body with equidistant wicks on both sides. And it is resting on the minor support that we had out here at around 110.75. So that's the situation with regard to oil. So oil is not giving us a clue where it is going, but we can then look at our VIX. So here we have the VIX, which is down minus 0.98%, and it's sitting at 27.22. It's converted the 20-day, 9-day, and the 50-day exponential moving average into resistance, which is a wonderful thing. It has got the next support out here, the horizontal line at 24.28, and before that it has to cross the 100-day exponential moving average, which is sitting at 25.96. By the looks of the MACD, which is bearish and moving away from the signal line, and momentum, which is below average, VIX is likely to fall today until any catalyst moves the needle on any other side. So when VIX falls, it is bullish for the markets. So we have got one bullish sign out here, and we got a bullish sign from the futures for Nasdaq, which is minor, but it's not that reliable because the bullishness was very weak. It was 0.26% if I'm not mistaken. Let's look at the US dollar index and see what US dollar index is doing. US dollar index has dropped further. It is now firmly below the 9 and 20-day exponential moving averages. It has got support from the 50-day exponential moving average, which sits at 12,583. So whenever money goes out of the US dollar index, it has to go either into gold, shares, or crypto, or a combination of those. So it's gone into other assets. So cash is moving out and getting invested. Therefore, it's again another minor bullish sign for the stocks today. So we got 2.5 bullish signs, if I may say so, which are pointing towards green open. And what happens during the day depends on any other catalyst that comes through. Let us look at the 10-year yields to see if it is giving us any clue. 10-year yield is still consolidating in the same range. And as I mentioned in my theory, that our consolidation for shares will be at one level, and as risk gets mitigated, it will go to the next level. I can see something similar to that out here. So we consolidated at a particular level, and then we drop to the next level. Then we are consolidating in the subsequent level. All of this is going to be reflected in the share price. It may or may not be discernible at this stage, but 2 weeks in, we'll be able to see a clear pattern. So this also looks good to me. The MACD is absolutely bearish, but it is trending towards the signal line, and momentum is below average and falling. So there's a good chance that US yields will fall further today. And if we look at the 2-year yields, 2-year yields are also doing the same thing. They are more pronounced in their fall as compared to the 10-year yields. They are still below the range that it was yesterday, because thanks to this tiny wick in day before yesterday's yields. But overall, I'm comfortable that we are moving in the right direction. So I'd consider this US Treasury yields to be pointing towards a bullish open. And the time right now is 8 o'clock, 8.07. So we are way ahead of the market open. Things can change in between. But right now, everything is looking bullish and everything is looking good. With that said, I'm going to look at QQQ and see what's happening out there. QQQ is up 0.5%, 0.50%, that is $1.50. It's a minor gain, but still we are happy about it because it is taking us right over to our resistance, which happens to be at 302.95, and we are at 300.84. So there's a good chance that we might try to take the resistance out there. And just let me mark this resistance into support. So this particular resistance we spoke about has got an overlap with the 20-day exponential moving average, which is sitting at 294.87. Right now we are at 300.86. So we are most likely to break through this resistance, and our next resistance then is going to be this horizontal red line at 310.45. So that's in the cards for today. MACD is bullish, momentum is below average and picking up. As I always mention, if the momentum goes above average, it's a much more reliable indicator. So right now I'll take it as a bullish sign, but it doesn't guarantee a bullish outcome. The moment it goes above average, we'll be on a firm footing. Let's look at S&P 500. S&P 500 is forming some kind of bull channel out here, minor bull channel, I would say. Its greatest test is coming right now. It's going to face this minor resistance out here, which stands at 405.31. But if I look at the pre-market action, it's at 406.23, which is somewhere up here. So which means that this is going to be again remaining as a support, and our next resistance is going to be 415.60 for today. So if we cross 415.60, our next resistance is going to be this 50-day exponential moving average, the green line out here, which is sitting at 418.78. MACD is bullish, momentum is also picking up, and it's very close to average and breaking through. So I'm feeling more confident about S&P 500, and if S&P 500 goes bullish, the overall broad markets will definitely reciprocate. So I'm feeling good about the markets today. The only thing I'm worried about is the options expiry, which can kind of throw a spanner in the works. So let's look at the PCC and see what's happening on that. Put call ratio is below 1, so that's also, I would kind of consider it to be neutral with a bias towards being bullish. So I'm happy with where the PCC is, and the MACD is also deviating from the signal line in a very bullish manner. Bearish manner. So overall, I think everything points to a good bullish open for the market. With that said, let me go and look at S&P 500. S&P 500 also is up 0.27%. So all boxes have been checked. So let's go and have a look at our crypto sector and look at gold and crypto coin. Gold is doing better today. It's up 0.54%. It's still range bound between 1871 and 1841. It's got support from the 9-day exponential moving average and also from the 20-day exponential moving average today. MACD is bullish, and momentum is just about approaching average and pointed upward. So that's all good signs. So money which has gone out of US index has definitely US dollar index has definitely gone into gold. Let us see Bitcoin. Bitcoin has not derived the benefits yet. It's still struggling at the support of 28,993. So Bitcoin is totally weak. It seems to be rudderless. So it's likely to fall below the support today. And if it starts to reciprocate what's happening with Nasdaq, then we can see some improvement here. Otherwise, Bitcoin is looking very weak, because as you can notice, the momentum is almost very low and ready to fall below the civilization zone. So with that said, let's go and have a look at our genomic sectors. So here we are in our genomic sector. If you look at the right side panel, all the genomic shares, pure play genomics are all green. So we have been in a risk on market as of yesterday, and I don't know the reasons why, but we have been in a risk on market. And if you look at the list out here, Editas has been at the peak. It's been the biggest gainer with 6.89% gain. It's trying to inch over the 9-day exponential moving average. The moment it breaks above the 9-day exponential moving average, I'll feel much more comfortable that we are kind of getting some life back into Editas. And the MACD is bullish, but the momentum is still below average and picking up. So if the momentum continues to pick up, if Nasdaq goes positive today, then it will give some benefit to Editas. But the biggest benefit probably might come to the companies which had very less benefits yesterday. So the likes of Illumina, Pfizer, PACB, IDNA, CRISPR, they are all likely to get more benefits as compared to Editas. And if anybody is going to gain more, it's likely to be Regeneron and Vertex. Those are the two that is likely to gain. Let us see if there are any pre-market trades for them. There are no pre-market trades. If I look at Editas, the pre-market trade shows a gain of 2.67%, so this is looking good. If I look at Teladoc, it has got a 1.2% gain pre-market. And if I look at Bluebird, it's got no trades yet pre-market, but it's also going around in a range-bound manner. So I'm going to draw a trend line out here, which will look at the bottom, and then I'm going to put a trend line up here, which is going to look at the top. So we are still within this range. We are not moved out. So we'll have to see what happens. Unless we move out of here, there's going to be no prospects. We got to break the 9-day exponential moving average, 20-day exponential moving average, and then reach this point of challenge. It's like the Prince of Persia video game. If any of you are young enough to have played that, the prince goes from level to level to rescue the princess, and at each level he has to fight dragons, and if he gets defeated, he falls down a level. So this looks like something like that to me. It looks like a video game. We are bouncing around. We need to break through those key resistance levels. And Bluebird is not looking great today. IMTX is in a doji candle as of yesterday, and today there have been no trades. MACD is bullish, momentum is also above average, so I'm thinking that IMTX is going to continue getting some gains. The fact that it doesn't have any pre-market trades gives me a little bit of pause whether the enthusiasm is still there for IMTX. Verve is up 3.62%. It's again consolidating in a line. If you can see what I mean out here, there is a line of consolidation out here, and we are well within that range. We have not gone up, and on the upper end we have got the 20-day exponential moving average, which is constraining us. So MACD being bullish, I'm optimistic, but momentum is still below average. But the fact that it's picking up gives me optimism, so that could be some gains for Verve today. DNA is up 2.78%. Again, we are consolidating in a range. So we have got the upper limit as the 20-day exponential, 50-day exponential moving average, and the bottom being the 9-day exponential moving average. So with the MACD being bullish and the momentum going above average, I'm optimistic that DNA will pick up a little more today. Intelia is up 2.74%. It's also consolidating in a range. It's range bound, and as the days go by, we can see that we have a range that we are looking at, and this is going to be the bottom, and the 9-day exponential moving average and the 20-day exponential moving average are the tops. MACD is bullish, but momentum is still below average, and the fact that it's picking up gives me some hope. Caribou Biosciences is up 2.37%, and we have this diagonal line of resistance as well as the horizontal line of resistance, which are going to challenge us. So 8.25 is where we have the horizontal line of resistance, and our pre-market trade is exactly at 8.25. MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is below average and just on the verge of breaking above average. So the verdict is out on CRBU. Anybody's guess. I don't know whether it's going to go up or down, but given the fact that it's beaten up so much and it's had a lot of down days, I think it should go up slightly or stay flat. But in any case, convert the 8.25 resistance into a support. That's what I'm looking forward to in Caribou Biosciences. Allogene is up 1.90%, again consolidating out here. MACD is bullish, but momentum is below average and picking up. We need to see where the consolidation breaks. We need some good news somewhere. Beam is up 1.85%, again consolidating with the 9-day exponential moving average and 20-day exponential moving average as the top, and the bottom is out here. As you can see, this is the bottom line on which we have been working. MACD is bullish, but momentum is below average, but picking up. The fact that it's picking up is positive in my books, and our resistance is the 9-day exponential moving average out there. ARCG is up 1.3%. Again, you can see ARCG is definitely consolidating in the last few days. This is the bottom line, and if I was to just copy this and put it up here, this is going to be the top line. So we are consolidating between those two ranges. MACD is bullish, momentum is below average but picking up. The fact that it is below average is not encouraging. The fact that it's picking up gives me some hope out there. CRISPR is up 1.25%. It has converted the resistance at 53.44 into a support. I'm happy about that. The 9-day exponential moving average is also providing support, and the 50-day exponential moving average is the resistance, and we have a doji candle right in between the two. And pre-market, there are no trades. MACD is bullish and it's slightly moving towards the signal line, but momentum is above average and picking up. So I think that CRISPR should do better today and at least try to breach the 50-day exponential moving average, which is sitting at 56.35. IDNA is up 1.12%, again range bound. It's got severe resistance at 29.28, which is the 20-day exponential moving average, which also merges with a minor resistance, which is also at 29.28, which is this red line that you see here. So it's going to be difficult for IDNA, which means that the entire genomic sector is going to have an overhang of that. Look at PACB, it's up 0.74%, again range bound. MACD is bullish, but momentum is below average, so can't say much about that. Pfizer is up 0.52% today, pre-market. MACD is bullish, momentum is also above average. Pfizer should definitely put on a few more points before it becomes overbought, and then it will move sideways and give up some of the gains. Illumina is up 0.48%. It has again been consolidating in the last few days. You can see the consolidation pattern out here. So this is a bottom, and if I copy this and paste it up here, it's going to be the top. So it's consolidating between these two ranges since the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. So friends, I think that probably our thesis is coming to play out, that we're going to consolidate. We are already at the bottom of the market. We're going to consolidate until we find some positive catalyst, and then we'll move to the next level. The next level will be above this green line above. I'm going to mark this as a red line so that it's clear that it's a resistance. Then we'll be consolidating out there, and we'll be moving along a range-bound manner until the next catalyst comes in, which is the positive news. So I think our thesis is being validated as the days go by. Novartis is up 0.01%. It's been consolidating in the last 2 days, and right now the MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is above average and flat. So I don't know what Novartis is going to do today, but it's a strong stock, and it has got to move up. If you look at Novartis in the sense, I would like to put another trend line out here, somewhere out here, and say that probably we are bouncing between these two ranges, and we need to have some big catalyst for us to move above the top range of this, which is at 93. We wait for that. Vertex is down minus 0.44%, and there is no trade pre-market, and we have got this diagonal line of support for the previous bullish channel, which is a resistance for us. We are already on a minor bullish channel for Vertex, and it is this line out here, and it's going to intersect with the resistance above, and we'll have to do a breakout above that or a breakdown below that. We'll see what happens when we come to it, because we are on a downward pattern out here, but in the longer term we are on an upward pattern. So I'm a bit confused about that. Vertex is a good company, and it's likely to break upward more than breaking downwards. Regeneron has got no pre-market trades. Momentum is above average, but it's falling. And MACD is bullish, but it's tending towards the signal line right now. We seem to have a strong resistance at I think it's at 688.68, and we have got support with the 9-day exponential moving average sitting at 672.05. Given that there are no pre-market trades, I would probably feel that Regeneron is likely to fall today because the momentum is falling towards below average. But given the fact that it's above average, I'm hesitant to make that call. But let us see what happens when the market opens. So that brings me to an end of this particular session, and you can see that we have That brings me to an end of this session, and friends, you can see that the market has been range bound for many of the stocks that we are looking at. So just be careful out there. Today's Friday, it's option expiry day. Strange things could happen towards the end of the day, or maybe starting the midday. So just be careful. And also oil is at a very critical level, and it can fall down further from there. So those who have invested in oil may have to look at everything carefully and see if you want to take your profits and call it a day out there. We still have all the risks in place. I'm just going to do a quick recap. Russia-Ukraine crisis is still ongoing. China lockdown issues are still ongoing. Supply chain issues are still ongoing. Labor market is still tight, and inflation is still high. The next catalyst is going to be the inflation report that comes from the US, which will show whether the inflation has subsided. If that happens, I'm expecting our genomic stocks to start range-bound consolidation in the next level up. So we look forward to that. And I've started putting out shorts so that other people can see what's happening in our channel. And YouTube also encourages shorts. So if you haven't seen the shorts, check out in the shorts tab. You would find one of my videos out there. And it's just a trailer for what is going to happen in the channel. And that's about it. If you like this video, please press a like there. It makes YouTube show this to other people, and we can be discovered by other audiences in the YouTube universe, and that will be good for us to increase our subscriber count and cross that 500 level that we have been struggling with. We are right now at 492. If any of you have not subscribed, please just subscribe and take us towards the 500. And with that, I'd like to call it a day. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.